Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Friday, the 29th of July 2022. Now, there are only 15 hours, 50 minutes, and 20 seconds before the season starts. Can't wait. And let's get into it. Some of the news ahead of this game. It's gonna get real now. So, Millwall boss on tough decisions for opening game. Indeed, this is from news@den.co.uk. Gary Rowett said they will need to make tough decisions for Millwall's opening championship fixture against Stoke City. The Lions have a fully fit squad for Saturday's match, meaning that some first team players will have to miss out on a place in the first team when the Potters visit the Den on Saturday afternoon. While the Millwall boss acknowledges that this will be difficult for him and for the players who don't make the squad, he believes that an increased amount of depth will benefit the club over the course of a 46-game championship campaign. They're always hard decisions, they're never easy, Rowett told News@Den. We spoke to the players this morning about the expectations of the squad, and one of the biggest things we spoke about is that we've got at least 20 to 22 players that probably deserve the right to either start or be on the bench. You don't have to be a mathematician to work out that some players are going to have to miss out on the squad on the first day of the season, like at every club. That's not necessarily an indication of their quality, it's not an indication of anything other than the fact that I have to make decisions. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and complain about making tough decisions because as a manager, that's what you're paid to do. You want all the players to feel like they're part of the journey this season and what we're going to do. That's been the key message this week, really, that everybody's going to need to be needed and we need everybody firing and ready to take their chance. What I would say is that if you're 10 games in and you haven't been in the squad or started one game, then it's important to come and see me and see where your future lies, but I don't think that'll be the case. The strength in the squad these days in this championship division is absolutely vital to being successful. One difference this season is the fact that Rowett will be able to make 5 substitutes during the match rather than just 3. He admits that it will allow him to be more flexible with his team, but that he'll need to plan for games in a different way compared to previous campaigns. You have to think about different ways to impact the game. Impact is vital nowadays. Eddie Jones has spoken a lot about how you have starters and finishers in rugby, and they're all equally as important. You can actually argue sometimes that the people coming on to try and win the game for you are actually more important than the starters, because there's often more space available at the end of the game. You know where the game is, whether you're chasing it or trying to score a winner or hold on to the lead. It's vitally important that everybody's ready to take their role seriously and impact the game. Sometimes with 5 subs I might start with a certain team and purposely leave 2 or 3 players of real quality out, because the last 30 minutes might be a better opportunity to create chances and score goals in a tight, cagey championship affair. I think that whichever way you look at it, we have to have both. We have to have that competition for places, and we have to have players that are prepared to come on, impact the game. If we can do that, we'll give ourselves a really good chance. But it's a test for any squad to have that type of togetherness for a long period, and that's what we aim to do. So there you go. And we now also had this from Gary Rowett, news@den.co.uk as well. Gary Rowett praises fabulous Millwall defender. Millwall boss Gary Rowett has heaped praise on Murray Wallace after the defender extended his contract on Tuesday evening. Wallace, 29, joined the Lions in 2018 from Scunthorpe United for a reported fee of £900,000. He's since gone on to play almost 150 games in all competitions as the club, winning the Player of the Season award for the 21-22 campaign. Speaking to News@Den, Rowett stressed the importance of tying down the key players in the current squad before commending Wallace for his impressive performances over the last 4 seasons and highlighting the key characteristics that have made him a success. We want to sign any of our players that we see a strong future for, whether they're older, younger, whatever they are. We want them to be here long term so we can build a competitive team and a squad that can achieve something. That's the first thing. For Muzza, I can't really speak highly enough of him. Day in, day out, he does everything right. His recovery, his preparation, his attitude to training. I can play him in central in a back 3 and he'll do everything he can to play as well as he can. Left side in a back 3 or at wing back, I think I could probably play him anywhere and he'll give me everything that he's got. That's why he's a professional. He's so popular and everyone admires him so much. I think when I first came into the building, he was one that was competing to start in those positions. I think the best way I can view his progress is that he's been one of the first names on the team sheet last season. It's a new season. It's nice for him not to have a contract to think about. It's all been sorted. We've got to go again to create those new levels, but he's been fabulous for us. Indeed. Will he be playing tomorrow? Where will he? Is he one of the good players who will have to be left out? I don't know. Scott Malone hasn't really set the world on fire. Just in pre-season at the end of last season. Will Murray Wallace be playing on the wing, and then maybe Scott Malone could come on as a substitute? Maybe that's something that they could be looking at. I don't know, but again, we don't know. We have to wait and we have to see, and we have to just wait. This is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk. Benik Afobe not afraid to set more ambitious goals and explains why facing former clubs doesn't change his motivation. This is a long form interview with Benik from the South London Press, so let's have a read of this. Benik Afobe might have prepped for many pre-seasons before, but his appetite for the start of another championship campaign remains as ravenous as ever. The Millwall striker was unable to face Stoke City last season as part of the terms of the loan deal that took him to SC16, but Afobe made a permanent move to the Lions this summer and is raring to go for the championship opener tomorrow against his former club after a productive pre-season which has seen him net against Crystal Palace, Dartford and Ipswich Town. Afobe top scored with 13 goals last season. I still have the same excitement as I did at 17 or 18 when I went on loan to Huddersfield at the start of my career, Afobe told the South London Press. I always say the day I stop having that feeling is the day I retire. Being here on loan last season is going to be beneficial for sure. It took about 4 or 5 months to get the hang of how we played. My target first and foremost is score every game. The aim is to finish it higher as a football club and for me to score more goals than I did last season, because I know I can. It's simple as that. The manager's backing is one of the main reasons why I came here. As much as I enjoy my time here, the manager having faith in you is probably the most important thing. When someone believes in you, you want to prove them right. He showed a lot of belief, especially when he first brought me here last season. A lot of people said things, I had a tough time in Turkey, but he backed me. The Lions boss Rowett felt they had missed out on Afobe as the forward closed in on the switch to Club Brugge in Belgium. Afobe jetted out for a medical, but never put pen to paper. A few private things have gone on and we decided as a family it wasn't one for me at this moment in time, he said. My mind was also on Millwall. For the most of the summer I had other options in the Championship, Far East and Middle East, but my children are quite young and I enjoyed my time at Millwall so much last year. It sounds a bit cheesy, but there's a bit of unfinished business here. I'm confident this is going to be a good season for us. The key for us is knowing how to win games, which sounds very easy, but it isn't always. We've signed 4 or 5 players to add to the group, and it's about adapting as quickly as possible and finding the consistency, because last season there were games where we were brilliant and others where we weren't so good. We need to stick to the bits we were good at and also being coachable and adaptable so we can change formation. We lost a lot of players, but the squad this time is better. I was reading an interview by Antonio Conte on Sunday, and he was talking about why he's brought in so many players. So when he does change the team, he doesn't want the level to drop. He's got the players who are good enough to start, but they might not start. That's what you need. Rowett was at the Stoke City helm when Afobe signed for them in June 2018, his loan becoming permanent for a reported £12 million fee the following January. The former Arsenal youngster scored 9 goals in 49 matches that season, the only one where he commanded regular game time. Rowett was sacked 6 months after Afobe arrived. I don't really want to talk about my time at Stoke, said the 29-year-old. That's in the past. It was a tough season for us, but I was top scorer for the team. People do forget about that. So is there extra motivation for tomorrow? Not anymore, man, said Afobe. I've gone past that stage. I played for so many clubs that playing against one of my old ones, it isn't a thing for me anymore. Last season I played against Bournemouth, Bristol City, Huddersfield and Reading, and I scored against all of them. I didn't celebrate at Bristol because I had a special connection with them after the problem with my family. Afobe's deal with South Londoners runs until the end of June, effectively the same terms he had left on his Stoke contract. While the reaction of Millwall fans was delight at him being back in club colours for the 22-23 campaign, there was also some disappointment that his future could again be the subject of debate in 12 months' time. It was a mutual decision, said Afobe. I don't know what I can say or should say, but personally I wanted a year only, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to be at Millwall longer than a year. The contract is a year, but you never know what can happen. Last year, when I was at Millwall and I kept saying I was just concentrating on the season, everyone thought that was me trying to leave and not come back, but here I am, again. There are some big boots to fill, luminous ones, with Jed Wallace leaving on free transfer for West Bromwich Albion. We have to be honest, Jed had an influence not just on the pitch but off it, said Afobe. He's a loud, bubbly and positive character. He's gone now, and that will give other players the opportunity to step up and a chance to show what they can do. No footballer is ever bigger than our club, whether that's me, Jed or whoever. You see players like Messi leave Barcelona and Ronaldo left Real Madrid, and they still went on to win the Champions League without him. It just goes to show that a club can move on. Afobe is not about to start predicting which clubs he expects to be in the promotion picture. The Championship's so hit and miss, he said. I could give you 5 names now and they could be in the bottom half. As I've got older, I don't mind saying this publicly. I don't really take much interest in those other teams. All I care about is what we can do to break into the top 6. We've threatened a few years now. Our home record, we did enough to get in there last time. We had the second best record in the league, but away at Hull City and Peterborough, we should have been taking at least a draw. If we can improve our away form, that should be enough. If our away record was slightly better, we could have finished in 3rd or 4th position. We're not even that far away. And that's the end of that interview. And then for some reason they've tacked on Nick Hart's predictions. They messaged him a couple of questions and he's responded, and they've tacked them onto this story, the interview with Benik Afobe. So might as well have a read of that. Expectation ? After 3 years of finishing the Championship's top 12, which is no mean achievement by Gary Rowett, incidentally, the weight of expectation will be on his shoulders to bring playoff football to the Den come May 2023. I expect we'll go close, very close indeed. Who is going to be your player of the year? George Honeyman. If there is one thing we love down Zampa Road, it's a non-stop running, fully committed midfielder that snaps at the opponent's heels. From what I've seen so far in the pre-season games, that's Honeyman all over. I love him already. Most exciting signing, Zion Fleming, a Dutch master trained at the Ajax Amsterdam school, and our record signing. What's not to love? Terms and conditions apply. What worries you? See above, but also can we score goals? Who is going up? Norwich City, West Brom and Millwall via the playoffs. Who is going down? Any long northern away trip. So if you make me choose, so he's basically saying the teams that he wants to go down because he doesn't want to travel up there. Rotherham, Blackpool and Wigan. Well, I agree with you on Rotherham. Blackpool maybe, to be honest with you, but a lot of people are selecting Birmingham and Reading, as I did in yesterday's video, if you saw the first half of that. So let's get into the actual preview of the game. So here's the preview from newsatden.co.uk, and look at this, we're already 12th in the table already. We haven't even kicked off yet. Nice, above Norwich. We're above Norwich. Millwall's first match of the new Championship campaign sees them reunited with a familiar foe. The Lions have clashed with Stoke City multiple times since the Potters were relegated from the Premier League in 2018, winning 3, drawing 3 and losing 2 of their meetings in that time. For quite a while, the two clubs have had opposing trajectories. Stoke have failed to finish higher than 14th in the Championship since they dropped down from the top flight, while Millwall have finished in the top half in 4 of their 5 seasons since winning promotion from League One. This is despite the Potters having a significantly larger budget for much of their time in the second tier due to parachute payments from the Premier League. Exactly, parachute payments don't really do anything. The Staffordshire-based side set their sights on an immediate escape from the Championship but have yet to even challenge for the playoffs. Conversely, Millwall have hovered around the top 6 for a number of seasons, and their aim will be to finally take that next step in 22-23. Supporters are optimistic that they can achieve this because the club have recruited so well in the summer. The Lions broke their transfer record to sign Zion Fleming before adding Benik Afobe and George Honeyman to the group the following week. Charlie Cresswell and Jamie Shackleton were brought to the Den soon after on loan from Leeds United. The additions gave manager Gary Rowett an impressive amount of depth heading into the new season, although he's keen to add 1 or 2 more faces before the window shuts in a few weeks' time. Rowett himself is a major part of the narrative heading into the match. The Millwall boss took over at Stoke after leaving Derby County in May 2018, but he would last just a matter of months into his 3-year contract before being sacked in January 2019. His time in the Bet365 Stadium isn't remembered too fondly by their supporters, which may add to the animosity of Saturday afternoon. The same could be said for Afobe, who signed for the Potters in 2019 for a reported fee of £12 million. He scored 8 championship goals in his debut season, but would never find the back of the net for them again, leading to loan spells at Bristol City, Trabzonspor and Millwall before rejoining the Lions on a permanent transfer at the end of June. Like Rowett, the 29-year-old striker didn't have too many happy memories from his time in Stoke-on-Trent, and he might feel like he has a point to prove against his former side when they visit the Den this weekend. I imagine this is the first time he's able to play against them, because when he's been on loan, obviously not allowed to do that. So this is the first time the opportunity he has. So let's hope for a hat-trick. So Michael O'Neill's side of similar to Millwall in a few ways. Both teams prefer to play with 5 at the back system and are fairly direct in their attempts to get the ball into the final third. Rowett told News at Den that he expects Stoke to be a very competitive team when they travel to South Bermondsey. They'll be desperate to start the season well, just like we are in front of our home fans. They made some good signings. I think it's a typical championship game of football. It's a tough game to know what it's going to be like, so therefore we have to focus on what we do and how we approach the game to do the right things. We said last season that if we do the right things more often than not, then we give ourselves a fabulous chance to get a positive result. You want to win every game, it's as simple as that. It's not always possible, so you have to try and be as competitive as you can in every game. What we tend to try and do is that we manage each match in its entirety, individually, and try to follow the same process to perform as well as we can, regardless of the outcome of the game. We'll review it and try and learn from it, then we'll play the next game. We got a tough first month, I think. Yes, I've said that. I think every first month in the championship is tough because you don't really know what to expect. We're looking forward to it and we're excited by it. We've got our own ambitions, and a good start is certainly up there with some of those targets. Rowett has a fully fit squad to choose from this weekend, meaning that some first team players will have to miss out on a place in the squad for the opening match. The biggest question marks are in midfield and attack, where the Millwall boss has a number of options for the starting lineup. This includes George Honeyman and Jamie Shackleton, who could be played together behind a lone attacking midfielder. Billy Mitchell, George Evans will George Evans will also be vying for a starting spot in the middle of the park. I'm hearing some rumours actually that because of the contract situation involving Danny McNamara, that he is not involved in tomorrow's squad. I don't know how true that is. It's just internet rumours, but I'm hearing that he's going to get the Jed Wallace treatment that Jed Wallace got in January when Forest bid for him, and he was just injured. But they're saying that the squad's fully fit. But Danny McNamara is one of the only recognised right back, and he's been playing very well. So to leave him out of the squad, maybe they'll do enough to put him on the bench. I don't know, but maybe they're just going to leave him out slightly. So again, rumours of weirdness going on. Honeyman, however, may be played further forward as he was against Ipswich Town last weekend, a role which allowed him to contribute massively to the opening goal because of his energy in pressing in the final third. However, unlike the Tractor Boys, Stoke are not a possession-heavy team and are unlikely to play out from the back, which might see the Sunderland Academy graduate needed in a deeper role. Fleming would be the most likely player to start behind the two strikers, although he's still adapting to English football. Rowett has urged fans to be patient with the Dutchman while he settles in at his new club, and has indicated that he may be benched in some of the early games to get a better understanding of what championship matches are like. That could see Mason Bennett start against the Potters in his place, adding some much needed pace and energy in the final third. Well, I would say that if you're looking at impact subs, Mason Bennett would be a better impact sub than Zion Fleming. I would think. From what I've seen, Zion Fleming seems to be one who likes to hold up the ball. He's not really running at people. He's not busting a gut, which Mason Bennett does. So At the back, Rowett will have to decide which of these 4 centre-backs will start at the Den. Jake Cooper, Sean Hutchinson and Murray Wallace have been his preferred options so far, but fans have been impressed with Cresswell's contributions and are keen to see him in action in the Championship. Alternately, Wallace could be shifted to left wing-back in place of Scott Malone in order to accommodate all 4 players. So they've just got a prediction here of the team. Like I said, McNamara might not be playing. Malone, Malone. I think Malone might be on the bench. I would put Murray Wallace there. And you could always bring Malone on if you're trying to get a goal later on. I think the way we play is draw first, try and nick the thing. But I don't think we're going to steamroller Stoke. I don't think that's how it works. So we shall see. We shall see in 15 hours, 29 minutes and 35 seconds. So let's move on to this first. This is 11v11.com. It's the historical head-to-head record between Millwall and Stoke City. And I've ordered it by away games and home games. So you can see here the first game at the Den was on the 23rd of March 1929, which we lost 3-1. But since then, it's been a sea of green and blue. Green for wins and blue for draws. Not losing many games at home to Stoke. Notably one in 1986, January, losing 3-2. 1996, again losing 3-2. Weird. And you can see recently we've lost 2 in 1 year, 2005, in February and August, losing 1-0 both of those. So let's have a look. Has there ever been an opening game against Stoke? Now that one in 2005 was 13th of August. That's probably not an opening game, but close enough. One up. Oh dear. One up here again, 30th of August. We lost that 3-1. So maybe playing at home against Stoke in August is not a good idea. Those are the only 2 times we've played them in. Or this isn't August, it's July. So I guess that doesn't count. I guess we're in new territory here. We're playing a home game against Stoke City in July. And as I scroll through this list, there are no home games against Stoke in July. This will be the first league game, professional game, League Cup or anything in July against Stoke City. So there you have it. So we're breaking new ground here, and you can see since 1999 we've played all these games. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games, losing twice and drawing 3 times. So interesting stuff. They don't really come here and take the piss. They've been heavily. They had the little taste of the Premier League and it kind of went to the head. They got taken over by Icelanders. And they've come back down to earth with a bump. Like they said in the News at Den preview, they haven't finished above 14th in the league. So there you have it. So let's move on to this now. WhoScored.com as we preview the game tomorrow. Let's move this to home versus away. So here you can see the last 6 games: Mill versus Stoke, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 away wins. Not many goals. Look at all those zeros. Clean sheets abound. Both teams got a clean sheet in 2020 and in 2019, and then Stoke kept 2 clean sheets in 2005, and we kept a clean sheet in 2019. So only 4 goals for them, 4 goals for us, 3 goals for them, and 7 cards each, 7 yellow cards. Interesting stuff. Obviously no league data to get involved with. There's no form data anyway, or no streaks. They put up the friendly results, which is good to see. A lot of people don't, on a lot of websites I'm seeing not bothering with friendly stuff. So our 2 home games is pre-season. Both ended in draws after 90 minutes, of course. Hamby beat us some penalties, but after 90 minutes, 2 draws. Stoke's away form. Now, obviously, they've signed Dwight Gale because I think they need him. They need something. They won at Cork City. Obviously, they went to that same photo island that we went to, but they actually organised the game out there against Cork City, which they won 2-0. But then they lost away to Accrington. They lost away to Bristol Rovers. And they lost away to Hearts, but they actually scored a goal in that game. So, but they didn't score against Accrington and Bristol Rovers. So they got some problems there, it seems. And we have a problem is we're too defensive when we draw. Same old, same old. A lot of people saying we need to sign another forward. Well, does it really matter if you're playing 5 at the back? Because that extra defender probably needs to go further up the pitch. And that will solve your attacking problems. Scoring goal problems. Match facts. Millwall have won their last 3 home matches in the Championship. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in 5 of Stoke's last 6 away games. Okay. In the Championship, this is. So, a lot of goals scored. Interesting. There have been over 2.5 goals scored in Millwall's last 3 home games in the Championship. Millwall scored at least 2 goals in their last 3 home matches. Yeah, that was last season though. So, let's get into the prediction from whoscored.com. Missing players, they've got 2 injuries, Harry Suter and Nick Powell. Obviously missing them. Some of the team news, I'm not going to read it all. They obviously reckon Benik Afobe is going to start ahead of Tom Bradshaw. No shit. With new signing Dwight Gale set to partner Tyrese Campbell up front. Okay. So are they playing 2 up front? Do you think will they play 2 up front away from home? Interesting stuff. I don't know. The Potters have no recognised right back aside from Demiko Dahuni. So expect the Huddersfield Academy graduate to start on opening day. So maybe that's a place. And they have Murray Wallace starting at left wing back. Interesting stuff. And obviously they got McNamara now. Obviously rumours that he might not play, but we don't know. Just a bit of crazy. And could Scott Malone start a right wing back? Or would that be absolutely retarded thing to do? I don't know. Just remember back in the day when you had like Eiffel and Reed, they would cross over quite a lot. Lucas Neal as well. I think that was a Mark McGee thing. I'm not too sure, but Malone playing at right wing back, could he do that? No, it's just the same thing on a different side. There's the match facts again, but here's the prediction. Millwall may have lost long-serving playmaker Jed Wallace in the summer, but the Lions will be heading into the new season with plenty of options after adding a highly rated prospect Zion Fleming to their ranks. The South London club have been consistently on the fringes of the playoffs in recent seasons and will likely be there again this time around. The jury is still out on Stoke manager Michael O'Neill, but heavy back in the summer transfer window means the pressure is on for the former Northern Ireland boss this season. The Potters have added strength to an already stacked midfield, signing Josh Lauren on a free transfer from Reading and Will Smallbone on loan from Premier League outfit Southampton. And they reckon it's going to be Millwall 1, Stoke 0. Millwall 1, Stoke 0. Interesting stuff. So, here he is again this season, David Prutton from SkySports.com. And we're looking at the predictions. And I think we're going to have to scroll way down to find our game because it's not a very sexy game. Okay. So here we go. So who David Prutton predicts Millwall 1, Stoke 1. Interesting stuff. So I do think if we're probably going to have to win the game, we probably might need to keep a clean sheet. Can we be scoring 2? It depends who uses the substitutes better. Again, the team is back tomorrow playing. Is he not? Is Ryan Leonard playing? Because Ryan Leonard was responsible for the goal against Ipswich, in my opinion. Who plays there? Will they? I don't know. Again, I think we're going to need to keep a clean sheet. The fans are going to be buzzing for it. We do have the train strike. That might affect some of the crowd. There's people coming in late. Ticket queues outside as we get every year. Don't know, but in terms of football on the pitch, will we score? Yeah. Will we keep a clean sheet? Possibly. So you're looking at either 1-0 or 2-0 to Millwall. I think if Stoke, now that we've got the substitutes, Stoke come chasing the game, we're gonna have to defend more. Could we hit them on the counter? Maybe we could. I think it's gonna be harder for the teams that do like to shut up shop when you've got tired players going up against possibly 5 extra forwards that come on. That would be crazy. A crazy thing to do. Yeah, and I think teams that will try and do that closing and shutting up shop thing, they're going to get found out pretty quickly. I don't think that's going to be a thing that you can do anymore. I think you're going to have to play football for the full 90 minutes and you're going to have to adjust accordingly. But I think I'm going to say it's going to be Millwall 2, Stoke 0. Millwall 2, Stoke 0. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.